Welcome back to another Trade Alts tutorial. This is video number 6 in the Trading Bot series. I'm going to be covering trailing take profits, trailing stop losses, giving you kind of examples of when you might want to use these. Also, why I don't use these, as I've had a lot of people ask me about that. It's not necessarily that they're bad or anything like that. I just personally don't tend to use them with my strategy, but you are obviously more than welcome to give it a shot. And I will be giving some examples as we get into the video. But I also want to spend some time going over some housekeeping things, catching up on a few previous videos, some important information that I have found that I want to share with you guys as far as the FTX exchanges that I talked about in video 5. Anyway, let's get to the video. So again, here is the disclaimer. Please pause the video. Take as much time as you need to read this thoroughly. All contents for entertainment and educational purposes only. Nothing's financial advice. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. So in my previous videos, I have tried my best to get my point across that it is so important to start out slow. Until you get the hang of it, trade smaller amounts. I really mean that. Like, try to take it easy. I know a lot of people rush in and they're excited, which I don't blame you, but like, people want to make money. People see, some other people in the group having success. There's been quite a few people who have actually been doing very well, making pretty good money. But again, it's really important with the kind of environment that you are seeing right now, with Bitcoin doing what it's doing, the overall market doing what it's doing, traditional markets doing what they're doing. They all have an impact on everything that's going on. It's really important that if you don't have experience using trading bots, especially if you don't have a whole lot of experience dealing with, as far as trading goes, please take it slow, because I am seeing quite a few people that are overextending themselves and, they're tapped out, waiting for the market to come back. And I'm just telling you, like, if you fall into that category right now with the market doing what it's done, which to be honest with you is not a whole lot, you are definitely way overextending yourself. So that's just to give you an idea. But again, if you look at the screenshot that's on here, so you look at, like, as far as Bitcoin doing what it's doing, somebody asked me, like, are you scared? What happens if Bitcoin drops? Like, is it going to destroy your bots, like, as far as your settings go? And for me, no. Like, this is when, like, I like moves like this because, with the way that the market has been, overall, my bots have done incredibly well, right? Obviously, like, every day is different, every week is different. There's going to be periods. So for those of you who have just kind of got into the bots over the last week or so, the market overall has been a lot slower than it's been for like the previous several weeks. So we're kind of in this consolidation phase, you could say. Really the market isn't doing a whole lot. Now today, with Bitcoin kind of dropping, heading low 50K, that is a decent move, but even that is still, overall big picture, not really doing that much. So overall, the market's been relatively quiet the last week. There hasn't been, any insane days where people have made, $1,000 days or anything like that. And again, it's all relative, right? Depends on the capital that you're trading. But the point is, it's been a slower market the last week. Overall, we're kind of figuring out what we're going to do as far as the market goes, right? Bitcoin's figuring out essentially what's the market going to do. Are we going to push up for new all-time highs? Are we going to have a deeper retracement? And the point of this is, and the reason why I'm spending so much time talking about it right now, is that, again, if you are overextended now, you haven't seen anything yet. That's the problem. So that's the point I really want to drive home. You have to really reassess your risk. And if you don't have additional funds to put into it, like, you really have to think about reducing your risk. so that you can survive in this game, because it's not going to be like the market is not something that just goes up and up and up and up and up every single day. You're going to have consolidation periods. You're going to have retracement periods like we're kind of seeing now. So you have to be able, like your strategy that you employ has to be able to weather the storm through great times like we've been having, through times like the last week or so when things got a lot quieter. And now we're seeing, you know, we're seeing kind of a bit of a drop on Bitcoin, not even anything serious. But you look at how altcoins are responding, right? Like you have to be able to weather the storm. So that's my point. And my underlying, you look here, what I underlined here, people with more aggressive settings could be in for a rough time. And I'm kind of seeing more than I would like to see of that happening in Discord and Telegram. Because again, I can't stress to you enough that you haven't really seen much yet, especially if you're new to this market. Like this, what you've seen in the last week, you have to look at where your bots are. If all your bots are maxed out, or you don't have any money, you know, you weren't able to fill all your safety orders or whatnot, you really got to reconsider your strategy. And you really have to take, you know, you got to look. And again, in video 4, I gave you some guidelines, right? Of like stuff that, you know, like how you could potentially size your account. But the fact is, my advice really remains the same no matter what. Start out slow. And I mean, like, start out to the point where it might even be a little boring, but at least you're on the safer side of things and you're not having your account just completely, you know, essentially like all of your safety orders being filled and then you don't have enough capital left to fill the rest of your safety orders that you need to. The point is you got to really hone in your strategy and be able to weather these types of events that we're kind of seeing right now. So if you find yourself in a situation like I just discussed, and by the way, this video is going to be on the shorter side. I thought it was really important to kind of cover less topics in this video, because I'm more like, I want to address more of what I've been noticing. I think that's more important right now than covering, you know, like even more topics or giving you guys more tricks of the trade that you can check out. Like I'm more concerned, and I'm more like, it's more important to me to cover some of these things that I've been discussing, because risk is, you know, discussing risk is really important, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. So if you are one of those people that are overextended, so this is some things that you could do, and kind of like what, you know, some things that you could consider to do to get yourself back under control. So number one is, as your bots do close deals, right? Either lower your base or safety order amount to reduce the amount of capital you need per bot, or cut the bot and reduce the amount of bots that you're trading. Okay, so it's kind of one or the other. Now, honestly, I think more bots are better. Like, and I discussed this in previous videos. I would rather have more bots trading smaller amounts of money, because that's more of the market that I am covering, if that makes sense. And obviously, like, it depends on, you know, like, or maybe you only like a few altcoins and that's really what you want to, you know, that's what you want to work on accruing or whatnot. That's totally fine. Again, it's up to you. But for me, you know, if I had to choose between the two of deleting bots, or if I had the option to lower the base amounts, assuming you're not trading, you know, minimum amounts already, I would rather lower the base and safety amounts than delete bots. But again, if you have to do both, do what you got to do to get yourself back under control. The second piece of this is, and this is exactly what I've been talking about basically since the start of the video. So it's being patient and giving time for your strategy to figure itself out. This isn't a rush. The market isn't going anywhere, okay? Like, Bitcoin will be here tomorrow. It's going to be here next week. It'll be here next year. All coins, for the most part, they're going to be here for you to trade, right? You don't have to try to hit the home run to win the game in your first week of doing trading bots, okay? So be patient. Find your sweet spot. Overextending yourself, essentially being too aggressive, it can cause some serious issues in this current environment that we're having. And again, this the current altcoin, Bitcoin environment that you're seeing is not even that severe. Like, it's not, there has been a lot of movement in altcoins, overall, over the last week or so. But this isn't anything crazy. Like, it can get a lot crazier is kind of my point. So it's very important to take, you got to really be honest with what situation you're in right now. And if you're killing it, hey, nice work. Like, that's the point, right? And I know there's quite a few of you that are. But I'm kind of speaking to some of the other, and it's not only what's shared in Discord, by the way. I wake up every morning to at least 100 DMs every day, whether it be on Telegram, whether it be on Facebook or in Discord, obviously. That there's so many questions on YouTube that I get, YouTube comments. And by the way, like, I do respond to almost every single YouTube comment. So I do try my best to get back to people. But the thing about this, again, is that there's a lot of the overextending kind of going on. And what I mean by that is, like, obviously it's okay to have like the aggressive mentality, right? Like, you want to make money. And like, I get it. A lot of people understand. But if you are not able to fill the majority of your safety orders and you're running out of capital, you're probably running too many bots. If you're if you're running out of money and maybe you're filling up too many safety orders on some altcoins. I mean, it really depends, right? Like, there's so many different variations. Like, everybody's situation is different. Moral of the story, check your risk, get yourself in check, and just be prepared to weather storms that get a lot worse than you're seeing now. So now that that's kind of done and over with, there's a bit of housekeeping I want to do. So following up on the exchange video that I did, when I talked about FTX and FTX US. So there is an issue that has come up that bothers me, and I want to share it with you, okay? Because, and like, the point is, like, this isn't, world ending or anything, but I think it's going to make it difficult. It's going to make it more difficult for people to be able to, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in crypto or managing your portfolio or whatnot. So on FTX and FTX US, there's something that I noticed, and I started running some FTX US bots because I wanted to see like how it did, right? Obviously, like, FTX.com has a tremendous advantage that Binance doesn't, and that's the fees that I discussed. And in the previous video, again, being able to trade with very, very little fee or no fee, or even better, getting paid to actually trade, like, meaning when you're a market maker and you're using maker orders, they're actually paying you, they're giving you a cut every single time you make a trade. That's incredible, right? But the problem with FTX that I'm running into myself, and I have seen a couple other people run into, let me know if by some chance yours isn't doing this, but there will be an example where, for instance, if it doesn't matter if you're trading in base pair, right? So if you're trying to take profit in crypto, or if you're trying to take profit in USDT, so the quote side of things, where when you close a trade, you could actually have a negative USD or USDT amount, and it could be quite a bit, like several dollars. And normally that's not the case. And then you'll end up with a nice chunk of the crypto that you're trading. But if you're taking profit in USDT and that's your priority, you're like, it's not working out to be that, because you're having to keep the crypto, which, like, so that's one issue. And then issue number two is, if you are trading to, if you're used to trading to take profit in base pair, meaning you want to take profit in the crypto that you're trading, you don't necessarily want your USD or your USDT to be depleted really, like, rapidly, right? So this is one of the issues that FTX and FTX US is having. So I'm going to show you an example of that here in just a second. So here is my history on FTX US. So you can see the account right here, right? FTX US. And I have a few altcoins that I am testing because I wanted, obviously I did a video on FTX and I wanted to test it out myself just to kind of make sure that things were working properly. So this is kind of how I caught this, okay? So you notice in the first example, the most recent, and obviously I have some Discord messages, sorry about that. But so this is BAT USD, and look at the base order, $3, right? Tiny bot. Safety orders are $6. And again, that's the nice thing about trading on FTX US or FTX though, is that they don't have the $10 minimums that Binance does. So that's part of why I thought it was really cool to be trading on FTX, because you don't need as much money. So that's really neat. And then obviously coupled with the fees. Now FTX US, the fees aren't, not anything to, as far as it compares to Binance or Binance US, I don't think there's any major advantage or anything like that. But being able to trade smaller amounts of money is pretty neat. So you can see here, right? I gained, I lost 47 cents on this trade, and I didn't lose it. It's just, this has to do with, and I will cover it right after I explain this and what 3COMMAS response was to me. But basically my account lost 47 cents USD, but I gained 0.94 BAT, which resulted in a profit of 58 cents, right? Or 1%. And you can see that my take profit was actually set to 0.75%, which is a lot lower than I usually do. But I did that because I'm trying to close deals quicker so that I can get more examples, right? So anyway, again, so the take profit ended up being over 1%, which my take profit here I set for 0.75%. Man, I'm getting a lot of what is going on over there. That's Discord, by the way. But again, that kind of shows you again, like I get tagged a lot. I'm a very busy person. And then, so here's Dogecoin. Again, base order $3, safety order $6. Take profit still the same, 0.75%. But look here. So I gained USD and I gained Dogecoin, which the thing is, every one of these FTX US pairs that I am trading, I am keeping profit in quote. I'm trying to accrue USD. So that's the struggle. Like that's kind of where I'm like, this isn't quite working how it's supposed to. And that's why I messaged 3COMMAS. But so again, I gained USD, which is good, but I also got 8.1 Dogecoin, which I would, like, if you have it set to take profit in quote, the way that I understand this is that it should be almost all USD, but instead you're getting more of your profit in Doge, which, again, for people who are just trying to accrue dollars, they don't necessarily want the crypto, right? And so here's a really good example. So here's Uniswap. Okay, again, base pair or base order $5, safety order $7.50, take profit 1%. And here you go. So like -3, I lost $3.54 out of my USD in order to gain, 0.099, so almost 0.1 uni. The problem with that is I'm only left with a net profit of 8 cents. Like I only gained 8 cents. So to gain 8 cents, I lost $3.50 out of my USD. So like, I don't know how many people actually are going to want to do that. So if you catch my drift. So I hope I'm being really clear here about what the problem is. So going over, and like this goes down, again, you can see, made 21 cents here. But again, this huge, this doesn't happen on Binance to this degree. So like it will happen, but not to this degree that you're seeing here, like to where you're, and it has to do with, and I had mentioned this in the video as well, like there was likely going to be some USD loss because FTX doesn't have as many decimal places. It doesn't split up or subdivide its crypto as much as Binance does. So that's part of the problem. So if you come over here to FTX, to this article right here. If you go to 3COMMAS, the FAQ section, frequently asked questions, and literally type in, you know, you could type in why is there a minus in profit in some deals. You could type in, you know, minus profit, whatever it is. And this article will come up so you can read it for yourself. But what they're saying is that it has to do with, you know, so again, sometimes it could be positive, like you saw Dogecoin look just like this, but the majority of the time it looks like this bottom section, right? And so they go on to say it's a healthy situation and you aren't losing anything. I kind of disagree a little bit. Like, it is, like, for me, when I'm dealing with Binance, for instance, and you know, if I can try to find an example here, I will. But if I'm dealing with Binance, the loss on the USD that I trade is very small. Relative, like it's acceptable to me, you know, to, you know, for it to have lose 10 cents here, 5 cents there, whatever, it's acceptable to me. But to have my account, every single trade that closes, like you could have it losing several dollars. And again, you're not losing money because your overall profit from the USD loss and the crypto gain is still a profit. And that's what 3COMMAS is saying. But I disagree in the sense that, like, I don't think people are going to want to, you know, be going through hundreds of dollars of lost USD essentially just to, you know, to gain the crypto, especially if that's not your goal, right? So anyway, that's FTX, that's FTX US. Just to give you a heads up, in case you see this happening, this is the purpose of this video, of this section, to kind of show you like what could happen if you do trade there. Now, the one thing that I have noticed, if I go back to 3COMMAS, is that the smaller coins, like Dogecoin, you know, it's you know, a few cents per Dogecoin, you're going to have a much easier time trading smaller priced pairs. So that's what I will say. Basic attention token is over $1. Uniswap is $33, I think, or no, now I think it's like $27. Regardless, like, the lower price coin that you trade, the less dollars you should lose, if that makes sense. And again, when you're trading something like Dogecoin, right, which is, you know, it's only, I think, 5 or 6 cents or whatever it is right now, it's less of a factor. So you don't have as much of this kind of loss that you're seeing here, because it's able to be divided, right? Like when you're dealing with the dollars, it's easier to be divided when the amount is so small versus, you know, versus trading something like Uniswap that's $27, but you're only trying to buy $5 and trade that, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm not trying to confuse people, but again, read this article. That way you can kind of understand what 3COMMAS has to say. But if it were me, kind of like from my experience of seeing this, I would prefer to stick to Binance. So that's just my opinion, right? Now, if you're trading large amounts, or you're trading, if you really want to save on the trading fees and trade on FTX, just know that, like, this could be something that comes up for you. But again, you know, it definitely has its advantages when it comes to the trading fees. But Binance, as far as how the pairs are trading, it seems to work a lot smoother for the time being, unless FTX starts adding decimals to their exchange. Then that's what kind of needs to happen. And I will show you kind of what I'm talking about here. Give me 1 second. So here is FTX US, and then this is Graph USD. Okay, so just real quick, I can see right here, this is your bid size. So this is telling you how, when, you know, here's your bid price, here's your bid size. So what do you notice about this? FTX US doesn't allow you to buy a partial of Graph. You have to buy a whole, you have to buy 1 or 2 or 3. So that is the problem when trading on FTX. Because they don't have decimal places to allow you to buy 1.123 Graph, for example, you have to buy either 1 or 2 or 3 Graph. There's no subdivision going on. So that's the reason, and this is kind of the case across the FTX platform. They do not subdivide their altcoins as much as Binance would, for example. So let's go take a look at Binance real quick. So here is Binance Graph USDT. So this is the exact same pair that I was just talking about on FTX. But what do you notice? You come to the order book. What do you see? You can buy fractions of Graph. So this is the reason why Binance has less USDT loss when you're trading in that pair, because it has decimal places on this altcoin. So FTX US, you had to buy whole Graph. GRT, meaning you had to buy 1 or 2 or 3 to trade. On Binance, you can trade, or you can buy 0.4, like you see right here. 255.5, there's your 0.4 again. So the point is, you can buy fractions of Graph, which will lessen the amount of USDT burn or the loss of USDT per trade. So that's, I would say, a big advantage that Binance has. But you obviously have to include other factors as well to determine like where you would want to trade. But from kind of a simplicity standpoint, I still think that Binance is probably the way to go, to be honest. FTX, FTX US, less appeal to me. Obviously, like if you live in a region, so if you live in Texas, for example, I've had quite a few people actually from Texas that have DM'd me. FTX US is really one of the only places that you can trade on, because other platforms like Binance US isn't available in Texas yet, which it should be. It will be at some point, I'm pretty sure. But for now, FTX US might be the only place where you can use trading bots to trade on. So that's just an example of somebody who might have to use FTX US. But, obviously, again, you have to compare the pros and cons of each exchange, which you can go back to the video that I did, the last video, and I really go into detail about that. But if you're worried about the USDT burn, like I've been talking about, losing the several dollars per trade, just to gain gain it in crypto, then Binance is definitely the way to go. So if that's a concern for you, Binance is definitely has, makes more sense to trade on their platforms. So that wraps up the FTX US, the issue with the negative USD. And again, if you're not sure, you're confused about that, totally fine. It's honestly kind of a confusing thing to talk about. Hit me up in Discord. I'm happy to kind of, elaborate again what I'm talking about. But for those of you trading on FTX US, FTX, you probably know what I'm talking about. So I did want to kind of shout that out for you and kind of go over what what my discussion with 3COMMAS was, and I did share my feedback with that and what they what I think they should do to fix the situation, because honestly, it's not very trading bot friendly, I would say, unfortunately. But hopefully in the future that they maybe make some adjustments. And as far as 3COMMAS support goes, I know that they've been really busy, obviously. Like for those of you who are new to crypto, may have noticed exchanges are taking a while to approve you. Like I'm sure 3COMMAS isn't immune to the millions of people that are trying to get into the crypto space. I'm sure that 3COMMAS is incredibly busy. But if you do have, if 3COMMAS isn't getting back to you, please tell me, because I would like to know about that. Obviously, like if I'm talking now, I don't work for 3COMMAS. I don't get paid from 3COMMAS. Like, they probably should, but no, I'm totally kidding. But like, I don't, but obviously, like if I'm talking about it, I use it. I like it. I've had a decent experience with 3COMMAS. If you're having a hard time getting through the support, please tell me, because I would like to pass that along. Because obviously, if I'm spending time out of my day to talk about and promote 3COMMAS, essentially, right? Like it's the platform that I use. But, judging by how many people are watching these videos, obviously 3COMMAS, is getting quite a few people, being trafficked over to them. If you're not having a great experience, I want to hear about it. That way I can tell 3COMMAS as well. And maybe I can help, speed up the process for you. I'm happy to try. But again, got to be patient. If you have support issues, support tickets, again, for me, they've been pretty good about getting back to me in a relatively timely manner. I understand they're probably very busy, but definitely let me know, because when I'm speaking about something, I kind of get, I've read a couple of comments lately, and I think people misunderstand. Like, I do not work for 3COMMAS. I am just like you. I'm a user. I'm like, the only reason that I'm doing these trading bot videos, I did the first one, and it had a really awesome response. And obviously I'm like incredibly appreciative of it. And people have asked me, please do more videos. So that's why I did it. But really, like, the first video, especially, the first 2 videos, it was really just to share my experience. I had a great experience. I made quite a bit of money doing it. So it's just more of a video to share like what my personal experience was. But, and also, like, as kind of a reminder, like, to touch on that subject, a lot of the questions that I do get asked in, DMs, or I get tagged in Discord, that's for 3COMMAS support. A lot of the stuff, like, I'm just like you, and I want to make that very clear. Like, I use 3COMMAS. I do not work for 3COMMAS. Drastically different. So, like, I am happy to help, answer as many questions as I can. I've been using the platform for quite a while now, so I'm pretty, like, in tune to how it works. But I won't be able to answer every single question about 3COMMAS, because, again, I don't know all of the ins and outs. I don't know how, like, the code works, or how this works, or whatnot. So, again, happy to help where I can. So on to one of the most asked questions, and I've been getting a lot of this, and this is why, like, this really deserves its own video, and why I don't want to loop in. Obviously I spent the first half of the video on some housekeeping things, and, like, it's kind of, if anything, it was kind of like a second round of video 3 where I did, like, the frequently asked questions, right? And, like, I kind of wanted to go over some things that I saw to try to help as many people out as I can. But trailing take profit, I don't use it. And it's not that, and again, people ask me, well, why don't you use trailing take profit? Like, won't it make you more money? And the answer is no, not really. Like, it could, but there are situations which I will explain. I guess I'll just do it now. There are a lot of instances. I used trailing take profit when I first started on 3COMMAS, and I was finding out that I was actually not making, and again, this varies depending on what kind of market you're in, okay? But at the time, what was happening to my trailing take profits is that it would hit the level to trigger the trailing take profit to come into effect. But more often than not, at the time, price would kind of make its way back down a little bit and then stop out the trailing take profit. Okay, because there's a deviation that I'll explain. But again, so what was happening was, let's say I have my standard 1.5% take profit. So let's say that price hits 1.5%, right? And then if I was using a trailing take profit, let's say I had a 0.2% deviation, what was happening more often than not was price was coming up to hit my 1.5% take profit, which activated the trailing take profit. But price would come back down and then stop me out. So I would have been better off just leaving what I do now, is leaving the 1.5% as a hard take profit and take the full 1.5% every single time. So trailing take profits, again, for me, it didn't, like, at the time, it didn't work as well. But obviously it takes, like, it really depends on the kind of market you're in. When you have altcoins that are ripping and have been for the last couple of months, I would say maybe this is a better environment, likely, to consider using trailing take profits, because you're getting a bit more volatility, right? But it works both ways. So, like, what I would say is, for those of you who are asking the question, definitely give it a shot. You're going to make profit no matter what, right? And, like, I don't, like, and in terms of if your trailing take profit were to trigger, you're guaranteed for the most part some kind of profit, unless there's, like, a drastic drop and the bot doesn't react fast enough. It's like ultra rare, but there is a potential for you to actually lose money on that trade. So that's another reason. Like, me personally, I like to just be taken out of the trade, collect my profit, know that I made 1.5% and move on to the next trade. But for those of you who want to test it out, and again, like you could have better results. So I'll explain here with a graphic that I actually took straight from 3COMMAS. So here's a screenshot of a trailing take profit in action. Okay. So I'm going to kind of break it down for you step by step of what happens. And then we're going to get to see the whole process in kind of one move. So this is taken, you can see this for yourself. This is directly off of 3COMMAS. If you go to like the frequently asked questions, type in trading take profit, it gives you, you know, their explanation of it and this screenshot that kind of shows, or this video that shows you how it works. But I'm just going to kind of break it down for you in a bit more detail. So again, this is the trailing take profit example. This green line down here, that's this horizontal line, that's your buy level. So that's your entry price or your average entry. This line, horizontal line going across the top, that represents a 5% take profit level. So again, if you were in your bot settings and 5% was your take profit level, this is essentially what it would look like. So you can see that price, so price is above your buy level, which is good. That means your trade is in profit and it's heading up to your take profit level. Now, what will happen, okay, so there's a red line that's going to come into play here in a slide or two, and that's going to be your trailing take profit price. And you can see it says follow max price with deviation of 1%. So what will happen? And this is kind of, and I will just go over my example of kind of like why I don't particularly use these. I'm not saying they're not useful, but what was happening to me is once you get to this level here, your trailing take profit will activate. Okay, so I think we'll see that in the next slide. I'm going to actually switch over. So we're on the next slide. So you can see price moved up to hit your take profit, which activated your TTP, your trailing take profit. So what will happen now is once you hit your take profit, your trailing take profit will activate. If price continues higher, your trailing take profit, or this red line, will stay 1% behind wherever the price is. So price could, in theory, go up 5%, 10%, you know, I mean, not 1-2 more percent. It could go up 50%. Who knows what happens, right? Before your trailing take profit might actually get hit. So you could make really large returns potentially if you're trading an asset that is you know, really volatile. Maybe it's having a really strong move to the upside. This could be a nice tool to potentially capture more than just your 5% take profit level, or whatever percentage your take profit level is set at. So again, price hits your 5% take profit level. So with this will activate your trailing take profit, which will, no matter what price does, you know, the higher it goes, your trailing take profit will always stay 1% within, it will stay 1% behind wherever your current price is. And you can obviously customize this as well. It doesn't need to be 1%. It could be 0.1%, 0.2%, 0.5%, whatever you want to do. But this, for this particular example, that's what's happening. So let's see what happens next. So you can see price moved significantly higher than your original 5% take profit level. What ended up happening, price moved up to this level up here before finally reversing. So you see you caught this entire move, and then price ended up reversing on you, which hit this red line, which is your trailing take profit. So what ended up happening? Well, price hits your trailing take profit and your position closed at 9% profit instead of 5%. So that's the power of using a trailing take profit as well. The flip side of it is my example that I shared. And again, it's like, if you like, it's not to like deter you from using this at all. Just from my perspective, what was happening to me quite a bit. And again, the environment that you're in drastically affects how well something like a trailing take profit could work for you. Okay, so just because I don't use it, it doesn't mean that it's not a good tool to use. Like, I just want to be clear about that, and I really urge you to test it for yourself. But what was happening to me though is it was coming up to this line, which was my take profit. And then, so I'll go back to the slide just so you can see. So what was happening is price was coming right up to this level, taking, hitting my take profit, and then it would reverse and take me out. So instead of, let's say, if I had it at 5%, my trade or my take profit was set at 5%, I was only getting 4. And this happened kind of quite frequently. So that's just to give you an example of what the negative, or I would say like the bad things about trade take profits are. It's not all wins. Okay, like you can actually end up some will give you these big runners like you've seen here. Okay, 9% versus just your 5% that you would have got had you had a hard take profit. But what can happen as well is it comes up, hits your trailing, it will activate your trailing take profit, and then price will retrace there and take you out, and you will actually make less profit than you would have if you had just had a hard take profit level in there. So that's kind of the other side of things. Or if its price is incredibly volatile and you're trading something that is again, if the bot can't react fast enough, I've seen this before, it's very rare, but you could actually get like a crazy, like really fast wick, and you might make a little profit. You might make it's even I think it's even possible for you to lose money, but that's like so ultra rare that I really shouldn't even talk about it. But I just want to make sure that you're fully informed of what could happen. Now here is the live example. So this is all the steps that I went over with you so that you can see it as it happens. Okay, so again, price here, this is your entry, price is moving up. This is your 5% take profit level where your trailing take profit will activate. And there you go. So trailing take profit is activated. So watch what happens to this red line, your trailing take profit, as price moves up. There you go. You can see it's following, continuing to follow, staying 1% or 1% behind price. And we top out. And then it takes you out of your position. So that's what happens there. So that is trailing take profit in a nutshell. The good of it, the not so good of it, again, take my words with a grain of salt. Try it for yourself. See if you like it. Maybe it's really profitable for you. Really depends. But give it a shot for yourself. So now I'm going to jump into trailing stop losses, and this is a bit different. So this is a really good example for if you're using smart trade function on 3COMMAS. So if you're setting up a manual trade, you can use trailing stop losses in that. So I'm going to go ahead and explain how that works. So here's another 3COMMAS example that I took directly from their frequently asked questions. But you can see here, so your green line, that is your entry level. Your red line all the way down here at the bottom, okay? So this is your trailing stop loss level that you set. And again, when you go into smart trade and you're setting up your trade parameters, you can set this to be whatever you like. So I don't know what percentage you're using here in this example, but this is your trailing stop loss level. And what will happen is as price moves higher, you will see this red stop loss level move up with price. And then your yellow level, which is not populated yet, is going to be where you end up actually getting out of your position. So here's the first kind of screenshot. You can see that price is just below where you entered. Next slide, price is making its way up. So you are now in profit. So again, this green horizontal line here is your entry. So your trade is in profit, and you can see that your red trailing stop loss level is actually raised from the previous slide. So there's your previous slide. It was sitting at 10,800 Satoshis. I'm guessing this is a Bitcoin pair sitting at 10,800 sats. Again, you move forward to this slide. You can see that as price increases, your trailing stop loss will follow the price. And then you can see here that your trailing stop loss is now above your entry. So no matter what in this scenario, assuming nothing crazy happens, and you get some, wick to the downside that, I mean, again, like I mentioned in the previous example, but for the most part, once your trailing stop loss level is above your entry, you're just trailing your stop, but you should be guaranteed a profit. Price is up here, 13,200 sats, and your trailing stop loss moved all the way up to 12,400, which if you remember when we first started, it was down at 10,800, way down here. So your trailing stop loss is following this nice move so far. And the final slide, you see that price went all the way up to, wicked up here, 14,400, and retraced, took out your trailing stop loss. Therefore, you sold your position, and this was your profit, right? So your entry was at 12,000 sats, and you ended up selling at your trailing stop loss, or I should say your trailing stop loss triggered here, and you exited the position. So let's watch it in real time. So you gotta wait for it to reset. But while I'm talking about it, so why is this important? So first of all, trailing stop losses are nice because they help you kind of follow trend, right? So instead of having a set take profit. So let me go back to that. Because I just want to walk you through this again. So as price is moving up, you can see your trailing stop loss is behind price, right? So it's moving up as price increases. So there goes. So there's a nice move up. Now your trailing stop loss is above your average entry. So that means you're profitable basically no matter what. And it will continue to move up as long as price continues to make new highs. So there's another new high, your trailing stop loss moves up. Made another couple highs, trailing stop loss moved up. And now price is consolidating, going sideways. And there you go. Now you're exited out of your trade. So that's how that works. So trailing stop losses, again, like to finish my thoughts earlier, it's really useful if you have an asset that you are trading that is trending really, like it has a lot of strength in the move, right? So, for example, some of these altcoins that have been running recently, a lot of them, they've had parabolic advances. So, you can get pullbacks, obviously. But for the most part, when you're trading something that has like a parabolic structure and it's really, really having, 60% gains in a day, 80% gains in a day, using trailing stop loss could be something that you would maybe want to explore versus having a hard stop loss or having, hard targets, I should say. So like, if you preset take profits in the order book, for example, right? So like, let's say you bought something at 10,000 sats and you were going to take profit at 12,000 sats. Well, you can see from the example that price actually went well above that. And so you could potentially miss out on some profits. Now I will argue that, profits are profits. And if they're there for the taking, take them. That's basically what the game is, right? Like your mission is to extract value from the market. Your mission is to take money from the market. When you have an opportunity to do so, typically it's hard to argue that, like it's hard to dwell too much that, you start nitpicking yourself and whatnot. But anyway, but a trailing stop loss in that case, maybe you could have captured, an extra 10%. It's hard to say, right? But again, when you have assets that are trending really hard, trailing stop losses could be very useful in your trading tool belt. And I just wanted to kind of point, again, this isn't just about trading bots, but when you're using 3COMMAS, there is the smart trade function, which I went over a couple videos ago. And the trailing stop loss is a feature there. Like it is something that you can use. And so I just wanted to make sure that I explained it to you and kind of how it worked. It's similar to the trading take profit, but for the smart trade version, and dealing with stop losses, the trailing stop losses, again, it's one of those tools that I don't use myself too often. But when you have, again, when you look at a chart and something is kind of shaping up to look like trailing stop losses could be a good tactic to use, I certainly would. But this is not something I use very frequently. But again, a lot of people have been asking me about it, so I wanted to take time to explain it to you how it works, give you some visual examples, and kind of walk you through that. And of course, the videos that are upcoming soon, I wanted to keep this video a little bit on the simpler side, I guess you could say, like, trailing stop losses, trailing take profits, that type of stuff. It's pretty easy to explain. For those of you who are new to trading, might want to watch it a couple times, because honestly, I can understand it might get a little confusing. And if you need clarification about maybe what might be a good time to use trailing take profits, I certainly can put some examples in Discord. I don't have an issue with that. But kind of what we have coming next, the custom signals. I know I've been saying this, but that is going to be coming up very soon. That's kind of taking me a little bit longer. I'm kind of working on a couple different videos at the same time, just in case you were wondering. So custom signals on TradingView, that is definitely one that we're going to do. Likely my next video is going to be leverage, though, because I've been getting that's been a lot of DM topics, is people asking me if I use trading bots, if I trade with leverage using the trading bots. And the answer is yes, sometimes. But I want to be very clear about this in this video, because I'm obviously going to talk about it when I do video number 7, which is likely going to be the leverage video. But if you're not successful as a trader right now trading without leverage, I don't advise you to trade with leverage. Like, it's kind of one of those things where I think people don't understand how, the mechanics behind it, how it works. And people think, oh, I can just trade with 50x leverage. If I want to trade Bitcoin, I could trade 100x leverage, 50x leverage, and that means I can make a lot of money. Well, it's also true in reverse, right? And then people learn what liquidations are all about. And again, I'm gonna get into the leverage in video 7. I will show you how to set up bots to trade with leverage, how to set that. Because again, that's something I wanted to wait till later videos to get into. But just again, if you're not an experienced trader, like, I can't stress enough how careful you should be when if you are going to try setting up a trading bot with leverage, because it takes kind of your trading to a whole different level, and it's not always in a good way. So that's again, video 7 is likely going to be leverage. The composite bots and custom signals will likely be a video. And then you can see they're under new role coming soon. So I'm not going to elaborate on this too much, but this is pretty exciting. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to roll this out yet, but there is going to be a new tier in Discord where you can get the Legends role. And I will talk about that more in the next video, but that is something that's coming up, and it's going to be pretty awesome. And again, here's my social media. You can get a hold of me. Really, Discord, there's a link in the description below. If you're not in Discord yet, definitely check it out. We have just about 500 people in Discord, which is insane. It has grown so quickly in the last 2 weeks. It's pretty awesome. But we have almost 500 people in Discord, and Discord's completely free. I don't charge to be in Discord or anything like that. And there is a 3COMMAS, there is a trading bot room in there specifically for trading bot discussion. And there's some really good discussion that goes on in there. And then also Telegram. Telegram is, I think we're almost at 250 members over in Telegram. Really good community over there too, really active in chat. and everybody's sharing their strategies and whatnot. It's pretty awesome. So definitely recommend those. Obviously my YouTube channel, which you're watching this on. And then I am trying to be better about checking my Facebook page that I created. That's growing as well. I think we have 110 members of that group. So I need to make sure that I am checking in with the Facebook crew a bit more. But anyway, as usual, this is video number 6 for trading bots. Number 7 probably going to be coming out tomorrow. I am like about halfway done with that content, but I just want to take a second again to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. And obviously, if you've made it to this point in the video, just a real special thank you for watching the video in its entirety, and really the entire series. And I can't stress enough, like, I really hope that people take my advice and they watch every single video in this series before they start trading with their trading bots, because it's really important to me that, you know, you guys have as much information as possible before you put funds at risk, right? So it's really important to me that, you know, obviously everybody, you know, that everybody's watching the videos in its entirety, because honestly, I get a lot of questions too still that, you know, if you just watch the video, it answers it for you. So I can tell, like, not everybody watches it like they should. But if you are one of those people that made it to this end of the video, again, a special thank you. And we will see you in Discord. We'll see you in Telegram. Definitely, if you need anything, try to find me in there. I'm usually in there majority of the day. But trade safe. Have a great night.